Haere and welcome. I am, as always, Tokamaru, the head curator here at the Infinite Ocean Museum. Previously, on Tales from the Adventurers Guild, our intrepid adventurer, Diacris, had been taking a break from adventuring, spending some time with a small barbarian tribe known as the Artisan, before heading southeast to a village called Bearclaw. Arriving in the early morning, Diacris headed to the tavern called the Crackling Hearth. There he met a local merchant by the name of Stellan Smithhand, who was having issues with a strange semi-sentient red ooze that has invaded his basement. After swiftly dealing with the ooze, Stellan rewards our adventurer, gives him a warm meal, and they part ways. Leaving the merchant's house, Diacris's attention is caught by the totem outside of the local temple. Upon entering, he is approached by the young priest Remigius, who, noticing that Diacris is the adventuring sort, explains that the temple's prized artifact, the Staff of Tolric, has been stolen by a group of Gnoll raiders and asks for his assistance. Having been bitten by the adventuring bug once more, Diacris accepts and begins to make preparations to head out in the morning. Following the directions he was given by the priest, Diacris heads out north towards the frozen stones, where the gnolls had been tracked to previously. Along the way, he encountered 3 wolves looking for an easy meal. After dealing with the wolves and resting, he continues northwest for another 3 hours before reaching the frozen stones. A large ring of stones standing about 15 feet tall. However, as he approaches to set up camp, he is ambushed by 2 gnoll hunters. After dispatching them with a few deadly strikes and some well-timed deflections, Diacris takes some time to search the gnolls, finding a strange mark on their chests, and begins to make camp as the night descends and the moon rises. And that is where we pick up the story this week. So, where's my thing gone so that I can read it? And we change that to display. There we go. I'm getting the hang of this presenting thing. The day dawns, crisp and clear, and you wake early, stoking a fire and cooking yourself a nourishing gruel over your campfire. You sit for a while with a hot cup of tea, which warms you from the inside. By the looks of the terrain that stretches north towards the mountains, you are going to need all the warmth you can get. After breakfast, you search the area north of the frozen stones. A survival check is in order here. The DC is only 12, so in theory, Diacris, with his monk's wisdom, should be able to succeed. Though if last week was anything to go by, that may not happen. Oh, there. However, that is a 14, so that is a success. We will go to here. Surveying the hard ground as best you can, you discover tracks leading off northwest and northeast. They appear dog-like, possibly left by the gnolls who stole the staff from the Ulutiu temple, but you cannot tell which path they took. Then it occurs to you that perhaps they split their party in two in order to confuse anyone who might be following. Which path did the staff take, though? The tracks tell you nothing in that regard. You remember the monk Remigius and consider your options. The northwest path leads towards the pass of Oral, known for its treacherous weather and avalanches. The northeast pass will take you towards the Poison Pass, which is notorious for its bands of marauding orcs ambushing travelers, which is the lesser of the two hazards, death by ambush or death by avalanche. I think after the gnolls and a good night's rest, Diacris is feeling maybe a little overconfident, and will take the Poison Pass. That doesn't look right. Okay, sorry, one moment. Let me just find. That seems to have led me in the wrong direction. There we are. Don't know what happened there. I must talk to the scribes when I finish this. They appear to have misled me. You set out on the path northeast, and soon the ground is covered in snow. In the distance, storm clouds gather over the mountains. Bits of slate grey fury that threaten to pound down their icy wrath. No, I appear to have appear to be in the wrong place again. This appears to be going the other way. Fine. In that case, he took the northeast path. In the distance, storm clouds gather over the mountains. Fists of slate grey fury that threaten to pound down their icy wrath. A thin fissure cuts through the rock of the mountain, as if a mighty sword had cleaved down on it. That must be the Poison Pass, okay? The site of the orc ambushes Remigius told you of. Your mind turns to your quest, and the retrieval of Frostbringer, the staff of Tolric Bearclaw. All you know so far is that it was taken by a band of marauding gnolls who stole into the village some nights ago. You wonder what their motives were, and how they organized themselves so well to slip past the village gatekeepers. Hardened warriors themselves, you thought. Perhaps the gnolls had some help. Perhaps they were sent here by someone who held the promise of reward or a threat over their heads. There is more to this than meets the eye, you reason. Gnolls are not known for their cunning. Wind whips across the barren steppe, and you scan the landscape ahead. There appears to be about a day's travel to the mountains. A dice is called for, a d20, and that is a 17, which is higher than my passive perception of 14. So whatever this is, I clearly do not notice. So to 357. You get the sudden instinct that something is amiss. You freeze on the spot, senses honed for danger. Your eye is drawn to the ground before you, which appears to be moving. From the ice itself, a snake-like shape materializes and rears up before you. Whatever this creature is, you have inadvertently wandered into its territory. This appears to be an ice serpent. So we shall roll initiative. Not that one. I might get confused. There we go. The blue one for the ice serpent. Excellent. I don't think I'll find something. Uh, 15. So that is 18 for Diacris. And the ice serpent is a 15. Excellent. Okay, some miniatures. Put me there, and we shall find something suitably snake-like in the Artisan's representations. What size is it? It's medium, of course. That will suffice. So that appears to be somewhere about there. Put this back. I don't think I have anything more snake-like, so that shall suffice. There we are. There we go. So, deep snow, unless you're wearing snowshoes, it's difficult to rain. Wonderful. Multi-attack, a bite, and icy grip. Wraps itself around the target while restrained. Make an athletics check. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't have any fire attacks. Whether I reason that to be a good idea or not is kind of a moot point. Serpent's resistance is excellent. Bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical. Wonderful, of course. Vulnerability to fire. Wraps itself around the target, restraining them while restrained. Each round. Athletics. Okay. Makes 2 bites. Restrained. Okay, well. It is my turn first. It's unfortunate that I didn't receive the +1 dagger before I left, but that is as it is. So, 2 attacks plus another 2. We are going to try and get rid of this thing quickly. What are we looking at? 22 hit points, AC of 14. Okay. Okay, so D6 for each of those, and that one, and that one for the other. Okay. Ooh, excellent. That is a natural 20 on one of those. And the other is definitely going to hit with... what is Mage to hit? +6, so 19. Lovely. So 19, a 17, an 18, and a natural 20. So that is 7, 6, 4, 13, 14. Yeah, 7, 6, yep, 14 on that one. On 14 on 3 of the attacks, and then the last one is 6 and another 1, so 7 plus 4. 7 and 4 is 11. So that is 25. It was 25 in the first flurry. Oh dear. Oh well. I'll just put a dash there. 25. However, that is halved to 17. No. 12. That's still a lot. That's more than half. So it is down to 10 hit points. And it is now its turn. So it will make 2 attacks, 2 bites. 2d4 piercing. Where are my d4s? You and you. Those ones will do. 2d4 piercing and makes an athletics check. DC being target's strength or dex ability score. Excellent. So that is a 13 plus 4, 17, which will just miss. Excellent. So, second attack. That is less, so that will also miss. Wonderful. So, quite taken aback at his meal suddenly taking half of his life points away from him, doesn't manage to do any damage. So with that, Diocris shall make 3 attacks, I think, this time. One, his main attack, nick with the dagger, and the bludgeoning strike. And that is all 3 of them hitting, which is incredible. That is 10, 15, and 2 lots of 4. Is another 8. So that is 23. Halved is still enough to absolutely wreck this ice serpent. In only about 12 seconds, a flurry of blows, a couple of stabs with the knife, and it is absolutely disintegrated as it just falls apart into icicles and shards. And that is a very solid victory. So, I don't think he even needs to take a short rest yet. He has 3 focus points remaining. So we shall continue. You take a moment to catch your breath after defeating the creature. How many more such terrors does this inhospitable wasteland hold? Gritting your teeth, you see that the menacing clouds that were brooding over the mountains are now descending towards the plain, and what looks like snow is falling thickly, several miles into the north. Hopefully, you will be able to find a place to camp come nightfall. But for now, there are still miles to be covered. Perhaps the rocks at the base of the mountains will provide you with some shelter. Your breath frosting up before your face, you set forth once more, now on guard for any unexpected movement. After 2 hours trudging through the snow, you come to a shallow gully which splits in 2, offering you 2 possible ways forward. There's a route that bends slightly more eastward around the right-hand side of the hill, or straight ahead through the gully. I feel like a Diocris would decide that a gully is more likely to have raiders where they can come down from above. So he will attempt to although the other is eastward to the right-hand side. So it doesn't say if that goes up or down. Let's say it goes down, so we will head straight forwards to the gully. I assume so. Must be. You follow the natural slope of the valley as it progresses northeast, descending into a long, shallow gully that dips below the plain. Soon the wind drops off as you enter the sheltered area, but you notice that the snow gets much thicker. You stop for a lunch of hard bread and cheese, and then get on your way again. Eventually, you enter a rocky area where your progress is slowed by a maze of boulders and rocky outcrops. Hearing something from ahead, you freeze in your tracks. The sound of dogs barking, snarling at each other. Thankfully, for the lack of wind, you crouch low and move slowly forward to the nearest boulder. Then slowly raise your head above and survey the scene before you. The land dips down even further from this point, and in the gully below you, there is a trio of knolls. One is quite a bit larger than the other two that follow it, and this one forges ahead through the snow, while the two smaller ones follow, bickering between themselves. Every now and then, the larger one turns and gives the smaller ones a good clip around the head, and they fall silent again for a short while. You watch their progress along the valley below, wondering what you should do. To follow behind the knolls and stay out of sight? Or perhaps to get in range so that you can make a ranged attack. However, going up against these three would be a hard battle, possibly even a deadly one. I think it would be prudent to avoid them as much as possible. So we will follow behind them, but stay out of sight. There we are. Staying well behind, but still within line of sight, you track the knolls for about half an hour, trying to discern whether they are carrying the staff you seek. But they give no clue to whether they are carrying Frostbringer. And you start to wonder how many parties of knolls are out here roaming the tundra. Your reverie is interrupted by loud shouts, and you rush forward to where you can see what is happening. Ahead, you see the knolls arming themselves as three tribal horsemen clad in white furs charge them rapidly, swinging battle axes. One of them also bears a bow. With swift and brutal efficiency, the horsemen dispatch the knolls in the blink of an eye. Their battle prowess takes your breath away, and you wonder whether you should go forward and introduce yourself. Are they friend or foe? To come out of hiding and present yourself before the tribal warriors is one option, or stay where you can keep an eye on them and wait until the warriors have departed. I feel like Diacris would hypothesize that the enemy of an enemy, apologies, is a friend. So after I take a quick break to drink some water, we shall continue with this story. I'll tell you something, dear listener. It is very cold here today in the museum. I do also hope that you're enjoying the background. Last week we were still organizing the space, so I had the illusionists from the Mages Guild whip up something so that you weren't viewing the chaos that was behind me. But now everything is in place, and the arcane chandelier up there is spinning as it's supposed to. My apprentices are apparently throwing books from the library into the portal, and they're just floating there. I do wish they'd be more careful. Some of those are older than the apprentices, who are elves of some 200 years old. Anyway, back to the story, shall we? Where are we? Ooh, lovely. That is further down than I had anticipated. There we are. Okay. Again, I really need to talk to the scribes. Their arcane links are all over the place. Anyway, you come out from your hiding place and hail the tribesmen, who seem startled at your presence. One of them quickly rides over. Initially, his bearing is menacing, but when he sees that you are not offering challenge, his attitude softens, and he gestures to his companions. Two of them jump on a horse together, indicating that you should mount the spare horse. These tribesmen do not speak your language, but it is evident that they want you to come with them. And so we shall. The tribesmen lead you on horseback a little way north, and before long you see a cluster of huts ahead. You enter the small village and watch as the tribesmen dismount and go inside the hut, the largest one in the settlement. A few moments later, a man emerges, a huge bear of a man, with biceps as thick as your thighs, towering over 6 feet tall. "Welcome, stranger," he booms, a broad grin spreading across his face. "I am Grokong Bearclaw, chief of the small village of Artisan warriors. Who might you be?" Something about Grokong tells you that you can trust him, and you share knowledge of the errand that the monk Remigius sent you on. "I had a feeling you might be on this mission, friend," Grokong bellows. "Please join me in my hut, where we can discuss further." Dismounting, you follow Grokong inside his hut. "So, you are the one who will retrieve the staff of my ancestor Tolric Bearclaw," Grokong says. "Excellent, my friend. I hope you have better luck than our warriors have had." You are seated inside Grokong's hut, which is well appointed. Weapons adorn the walls, and the floor is strewn with fur rugs of various sizes. Hot yak stew is brought, and ale, and you are soon feeling very comfortable as Grokong tells you what his warriors have learned recently. The gnolls don't work alone, my friend, as I'm sure you have deduced by now. They act under the duress of one Orellana, the Ice Mage. Ice Mage, you say, frowning. Yes, and a fearsome mage she is. Grokon waves his arm in a vaguely northern direction. She has her lair north of the mountains. It is there that the gnolls are headed. They take the staff to her, and when she receives the mighty Frostbringer, her power, which she has been nurturing for years, will reach a new level. Her plan is to dominate these lands, to become the emissary for her cruel mistress, the cold goddess, Auril, the enemy of our beloved Ulutiu. Grokon tells you that his tribe learned of the theft of the staff just recently and have not had time to send anyone out to track the gnolls. He also says the majority of his warriors are far away to the east, hunting aurochs for meat to dry before the winter sets in properly. This is a yearly ritual for them, one which keeps them fed throughout the lean months. He expresses his gratitude that you are taking up this quest and offers you an interesting piece of information. Frostbringer answers the commands of one who wears the amulet of Tolric Bearclaw. Reaching inside his tunic, Grokon takes out a necklace, a huge bear's claw, in a gold setting, suspended on a leather cord. Fixing you with a meaningful stare, he passes the amulet to you. When you are faced with the evil mage Orellana, chant the phrase Tolric Akur Krogon. That will bind you to Frostbringer, and Orellana will be unable to use it to fight you. If you can then somehow get hold of Frostbringer, perhaps you will be able to use it against her. You stay a little longer in the village, but you are soon eager to be on your way again. With the few hours of daylight left, Grokon tells you you should be able to make it to the base of the mountains north of the village. He tells you that there is an abandoned castle there, which used to belong to a warlord. It sits on the side of the mountain range. Be warned, friend. Do not venture there. It is cursed, occupied by the undead lord, who used to hold sway over the lands many, many moons ago. The brother of this same Orellana, Agnom Wintersong, he guards his wealth doggedly, and he has a band of undead warriors who remain loyal as well. You will never get through him and his guards, believe me. Many of my loyal tribesmen have tried, and died. Armed with this information, you set out once more from the barbarian village, looking to make it to the foot of the mountains by nightfall. Take the code word amulet, okay? And we proceed to 263. You leave the village and emerge once more on the barren, snowy plain, which stretches uninterrupted towards the mountains. The narrow gully of Poison Pass now appears to be just a couple of hours' walk away. You continue trudging in a northeast direction. The mountains now loom large, dominating your view, and everything is covered in hard-packed snow or ice. Puffing with exertion, you see your breath frost up before you with every laborious step. As the day wears on, you notice your eyes becoming tired with all the white that surrounds you. Do you have a pair of snow glasses? If so, you are saved from the pain of snow blindness. If not, a DC 17 con save, or you suffer from snow blindness. Well, I did not take that, so we shall make, whoopsies, a DC 16, 17 Constitution saving throw. What is my Constitution? Oh dear, only +4. That is 17 on the dot, so I do not suffer from snow blindness. If you fail, then you suffer from that. If you already have one, you take another one. Okay. Yes, lovely. So, 194. The narrow gully of Poison Pass is close now, just a couple of hours' walk northeast. You reason that you will probably reach the base of the mountains by nightfall. Directly to the north is an abandoned castle which looks like it might once have been quite a grand structure, now dilapidated. Its battlements crumbling, it sits alone, a little way from the base of the mountains. Well, I was warned that the castle was not somewhere to be trifled with. However, having taken what I assume to be a short rest, I will say that I have recovered that focus point. And I didn't take any damage, so I will brave the castle. It might hold some valuables that will be good, useful for an adventurer. So let's investigate the castle. 340. There we are. You really should have gone to that speaking course that the bards were holding the other week. You decide to strike out for the castle, and you leave the route headed for Poison Pass to investigate the abandoned structure. As you near it over the next hour, you see that this must have once been a formidable fortress. It towers over the landscape, an imposing sight from any angle, and the battlements that remain, crumbling and broken as they are, still form an impressive sight. In your mind's eye, you can see men at arms walking those battlements, gazing out across the icy tundra on the lookout for an orc army or a horde of marauding berserkers. But those battlements are empty now, and a chill wind is the only thing that moves around this castle. Eventually, you reach the outer wall and approach a set of huge wooden gates that tower 30 feet high. The bottom corner of one of these gates has been smashed in by a battering ram, which has been dropped and left here, forming a hole through to the other side. So, our options are to make our way through the hole and into the keep beyond, inspect more of the outer wall, or return to Poison Pass. Well, the adventuring bug has bitten quite significantly, and there is sure to be treasure, so I shall enter. Where are we? No, up. Quite far up. Oh dear. I'm glad I took note of that. That is quite annoying. I am going to have a serious talk with the scribes. Okay. Perception check. Perception isn't too bad. I have good wisdom. That is an 18, and DC was only 12. So we'll go to 261. Making your way carefully inside the gate, you catch sight of something and freeze in your tracks. A tripwire extends across the bottom of the crude opening in the gate, obviously set up by someone still inhabiting the place. You have no idea what it is attached to, but it must be some sort of trap. Carefully, you step over it and make your way stealthily inside. Apologies. The adoring public and apprentices ask for my attention at all times. Sorry, where was I in this story? I step over it stealthily and make my way stealthily inside. There we go. Ahead, you see a series of steps leading up to the main castle. There are outbuildings either side of it. If someone wanted to hide behind one of those and ambush someone approaching the castle, that would be the perfect place. You are unsure whether anyone or anything has seen you approach. To the castle, approach stealthily. That is probably a good idea. Around the side. No, we shall approach stealthily towards the castle. Oh yeah. As quietly as you can, you creep across the courtyard area towards the steps that lead up to the castle entrance. A DC 14 stealth check. My dice have been rolling very well today, unlike last week, where I couldn't make a save to, well, save myself. However, that was cocked. It was leaning against one of the other dice, so we will try that again. And that is worse, so either way, it was going to be a failure of 8. Crunchy ice, most likely. Moving quickly and quietly, you make your way across the courtyard towards the entrance of the abandoned keep. But as you move, you slip on an icy patch of ground and upset a nearby bucket. From your right, you hear a ragged barking and quickly get to your feet. 3 gnoll-like creatures are running towards you. You notice that parts of their flesh appear to be decaying, and bone is showing through. Are they undead? Regardless, it appears you will have to do battle with these creatures. Withering gnolls. Immunity sensors. They're immune to poison. Other than that, excellent. Okay. Gnolls. Oh dear. So, another combat ensues. That's good. And we have 3 of them, don't we? Excellent. This will be quite the battle. I'll use these dog-like creatures. And... oh no, he's not here anymore. Yes, they will have to do. 2 dog-like creatures and a cat-like humanoid. That will have to suffice. So, they are coming from my right, I believe. So they are over here. And will be over here. There we go. So, there we are. Okay, so we have 3 undead, potentially undead gnolls. They aren't very strong in terms of ability to take hits, so that is good. We will roll them individually. So blue for the blue base, yellow for that one, and I have purpley for that one. No. Blue. Black. And no portal. There we are. So, blue. Yeah, okay. So let's roll some dice. So the blue one, what is their dexterity? Oh, -1. Excellent. So they're not very dexterous. So 10, 14, 2. They are not doing very well. That being said, I got a natural 1. So that is 5 for me. So let's rearrange these a little. No doubt. There. And apologies. Paperwork. It takes so long. Oops. A Excellent. Okay. So, this knoll here shall move first. They have 30 feet. 30, so it will dash up to there. And that will be its entire action. I'm hell-bent on stopping you from reaching the stairs. I move in front of you to block, if possible. Move on a map. Understand the knoll. You may attack with advantage. Excellent. They can't do anything else, so those hit points and below, they gain +2. Yeah, interesting. And then it is this knoll, so it will also come up to here to block me from getting to the stairs. And then it is my turn. So we shall make that one, that one, that one, and that one. We shall make 4 attacks again. We'll do it in 2 lots. We'll make the first one against the first 2 against the blue knoll with the dagger. That is a 14 on one of them, but only a 9 on the other. What is the AC? 12, so that won't hit, but the other one will. And that is the main attack, so that is 4 and 4, so that is 8 damage. And the other 2 attacks, flurry of blows on the other one, is, ooh, that went on a trip. A 17 and an 18, so both of those hit for 7 and 8 is 15 damage, which will be enough to kill it. Oh, yes, that one. So that one is gone. And it is now this one's turn, which will come up dashing to here. That one is dead. And that is its entire turn. So back to the top, it is now that one, and that one will, in fact, be able to make an attack now. And because it is not dead, it has a feature called Blood Fury, that when a target is reduced, oh, sorry, I thought it was when it reduced, never mind. When a target is reduced to half of its hit points or below, the knoll gains a +2 advantage to damage rolls. However, I am looking quite healthy at the moment, so that won't be necessary. So I've spent 1 focus point. There we go. Oh, however, it does have Vengeful Strike in response to an ally being reduced to 0 hit points within 30 feet of it. The Withering makes a melee attack, so it will do that. Yes, that one moved after, and it was not within 30 feet, so just the one. And any of them are +4 to hit. That is only a 10, so that won't hit, so everything is as it was. Let's just move everyone into camera range so you can see the beautiful work of my miniatures. There we go. The artisans in the Makers Guild are very talented, so we have to show off their work. So, multi-attack, it can make 2 attacks, 1 bite and 1 club, or 2 clubs. They are the same, so we'll make 2 club attacks, shall we? They do 1d4. Interesting. 1 and 2. There we go. However, the highest of those is only a 12, so both of those attacks will miss. And it is now back to my turn. So that one is looking very, very much on death's door. So, 2 attacks to start with. Oh dear. So the first one misses with the 10, unfortunately, only just misses. The other one is a 21 though, so that is... However, because that was the offhand nick attack, that only does 1 damage in total. So it is still alive with 1 hit point. So I shall make another attack to try and knock that down. And I will save the point, so I'll just do the 1 bonus action attack. That will hit, and that will kill it. And now, because of that, the other gnoll will make an attack with a bite. It'll be a bite attack, as its friend... I suppose if you're undead, do you really have friends? As its companion dies. However, that is only a 14 to hit, so that will not hit. That is that one. Very much brought down to... Apologies. Brought down to a pile of rotting flesh and bones. It is now the last gnoll's turn, so it shall make its 2 attacks. And neither of those will hit. The highest being a 15, and Diacris's AC is 18. They are not going well. So with that, it'll come back to my turn, and I will make 2 attacks with my 2 daggers. And both of those will definitely hit. So that is 7, that is 13, no, 11. 11 damage, which is, if I look up here, how many hit points they have. So with those 2 stabs, they are vanquished. Victorious. So, entry, there we go, 358. That is infuriating. Seriously, there we are. Okay, the last of the wretched undead gnolls falls dead again before you. With them out of the way, you proceed to the castle entrance unhindered. A sturdy door stands before you, with a knob shaped like a bear's head. Turning the handle, you pull the door open and quickly move inside out of the cold, shutting it behind you. There is a large crate nearby, which you ram up against the door to stop anyone from following you in. If there were any gnolls remaining out there, they will be unable to budge open the door. Turning, you regard the entrance hall of the old castle. Tattered tapestries adorn the walls, and unlit braziers line each side of this large hall. At the far end, you see a long, curving staircase which ascends up to the next floor. Options are to search the room, have a closer look at the tapestries, or climb the staircase to the next floor. I think we should search this room. An investigation check is called for, so DC 14, not impossible for myself. Investigation +1, excellent. However, that is only a 5. That is a 6. 255. You find the unusual suits of old rusted armor standing to attention along both sides of the entrance hall. Small tables bear vases containing the stems of wilted flowers. There are also a few rotting rugs and broken pottery, but nothing of any real significance. Well, in that case, let's head up to the next floor. Walking to the back of the entrance hall, you begin ascending a long, curving staircase. Portraits of old warriors line the walls, regarding you with their stoic expressions. You wonder what sort of hardy souls chose to make their home this far away from the civilized world, and what sort of horrors did they have to beat back from their gates. You reach the landing at the top of the stairs. It is utterly dark and quiet, but for the whistling of the chill breeze, which finds its way through the castle in the ancient masonry. Cautiously, you move forward. You wander along a wide, deserted corridor for some way, before you see a door on your left. Ahead, you see that the passage enters another staircase. Well, I think it would be a good idea to inspect the door on the left. Don't want to be ambushed again, though that seems to be a common occurrence. So where are we going? 158. Excellent. Yes, I believe, given that there are already traps on the outside, I will check it for traps, just in case. A perception check. I am better at those than investigation. And that is a natural 20. Excellent. That's always lovely to see. So that is perception of +4, so 24 perception. DC was only 14, so I believe, okay, 75. Why are there no links? Okay. I really do need to talk to them about those links. 75. Nearly there. 77. Entry 75. After a thorough search, you cannot find anything resembling a trap to open the door. So on to 150. So a stealthy approach is probably a good idea. And that is 14, so the DC was 12. That is a success. 236. You ease the door open and immediately notice that it is light inside the room. Peeking inside, you see a bizarre sight. Seated at a table, there are 3 warriors in full armor, visors down. They do not talk or even move. Before each one is a plate of what could have once been food, but is now reduced to dried remains and dust. The whole scene is lit by 4 braziers, one in each corner of the room, and on the right-hand side of the room is a fireplace, which burns with a dull light. There is a foul smell in this room, as of rotting flesh. To the north, on the far wall, is a large door. I think creeping past might be the ideal situation. I'm not sure that warriors in heavy armor are going to be, undead warriors in heavy armor, potentially, are going to be exactly the talking type or easy to deal with. So we'll creep past. Move towards the north door, attempting to sneak past the guards. However, due to the small confines of the room, it will be a miracle if your presence is not noticed as you approach. Another stealth check, DC 19 this time. So very, very difficult, but not impossible. And unfortunately, that is just a failure at, what is my stealth, +4, so that is an 18. That is just short, unfortunately. So, unsuccessful, and 204. Stop! One of the guards barks. You may not enter my lord's chamber. All 3 guards stand and draw their swords. As they turn their helmeted heads towards you, you see their eyes as blood-red points of light. South of the North. Excellent. So, undead bannermen, these are. So, interesting. Okay. So, let us find yet another combat. And I think after this combat will be the perfect place to finish. I'm sure. Yes, I have the perfect miniatures available from printableheroes.com. These are paper miniatures that look absolutely stunning. The artist has done an incredible job. We will go with those two. Those. There was another one with a sword. They are quite incredible designs. Ones which I plan to use frequently for when I don't have the miniature itself, because they are very easy to print off. Blue, purple, and red. Lovely. And then I have some bases for them to sit in. There's one. There's two. And where's another base there? And three. Excellent. So, another combat. This session has been very combat heavy, but that's okay. We have a powerful adventurer. So, let me place these down. Say that they are seated around a table like that. Now, where are those? I do have somewhere. Maybe they're inside. Yes, they appear to be inside. I shall bring them. I have flat terrain that would be perfect for this situation. However, that's fine. So, battle. Oh dear, you can't see anything there. No. I'm using that one. There we go. Where are we? Oh, here. Okay. There we go. There. And myself somewhere about there. Excellent. So, we shall roll some initiative. Now, what do these have? They have Undead Legion. The Bannerman has advantage on attack rolls against a creature if at least one Bannerman ally is within 5 feet of the creature and the allies aren't incapacitated. Other than that, they don't have anything else going on. So, some initiative. We will have blue, red, and purple. Excellent. Purple, and then myself being the yellow and green ones. Excellent. Okay, and these only do 1d6, but they do have advantage, so get out the d6s, that one, and there should be a purple one. Will do. Okay, so we'll put those there. We'll put those there. And we'll put those there as well. We will get another couple of dice. Oh, you're a 12. You shouldn't be in there. In there. those two. Excellent. Just in case. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, if I should want them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay. So, let us roll some initiative. They are not very dexterous, so that's good. Okay. Excellent. So it appears that I am going first. So blue is 7, red is 6, purple is 10, and I am 15. So let's just shift these down a bit. Shift you up there. Keep forgetting. There we go. Is a 15 and 4, I believe. Yes. So 19. Excellent. So, prepared as always, Diocris will run up to this one and pommel him. So we'll make these 2 attacks. Yes, okay. 2 attacks, in fact 3 attacks. I'm not going to use a focus point just yet, because if any of these hit, they could hit hard. So one definitely hits, and that is a 12. I believe that won't hit. However, the other unarmed strike will, which is good because that is some of the best damage. So that is 9 and 8, 17. Ooh, they only have 21. So this is blue. 17. All right. And it is now purple's turn. This one? Yes, this one. So he's going to come 30 feet. Yeah, easy. Come around to the side. And he is going to make his one attack at advantage because of his ally within 5 feet. And it is 1d6 plus 1 necrotic damage. With a +3 to hit, that is a 13 and a 14, so 17 total. That won't hit, as Diocris just nimbly dodges out of the way. It is now the blue one's turn, and they will also get advantage. And that is a natural 20. So that is, and 6 on the first dice. 6 plus 3, 9. So 10 damage. And this is why I saved my my focus points. I'm going to spend one of those. Or no, I don't need to spend it to reduce the damage. But I will spend it to redirect the damage. So this is 1d10 plus 4. So if I reduce it to 0 or more, I can redirect it. However, that is only 9. So We take 1 damage, and I won't spend that focus point. There we go. So with that, it is now the last one's turn, and we'll make his attack coming up around the other side of the table to join his allies. And that is an 18 to hit, which will just hit. I believe it was +3, so it's 19 to hit, so that will hit. So that is 2 necrotic damage. So we're only down 3 hit points now. And with that, it is back to the top of the turn. It's my turn. I will make 2 attacks against the blue one. This one right here. Yes. So the first one is 8 damage. So that is actually enough to kill it. So I will redirect the other one to... So that one is no more. I will redirect the other one to purple. That one there. And that will just be 1 damage. I will then just make 1 bonus action attack. No, I will make 2. Diacris is feeling feisty now that he's taken out one of them. That is, whoopsies, 16 and 9. So the 16 will hit for another 10 damage. So it is down to 10 hit points. And it is now that one's turn. Because it still has an ally in range, it will make its attack at advantage. However, a 13 will not hit. And it is now the blue one's turn? No, the red one's turn. Yes, the blue one is gone. Red one's turn, which hasn't been hit at all. So let's see what this one gets. They are not rolling very well at all. That is a 9 at the highest. So as the blade comes down, Diacris just gently parries it off to one side. And it is now his turn again. So, 2 attacks on the purple one to start with. And that is another natural 20. A more beneficial one because that is for me, not against me. So that is 4. Let's write that down. 4 plus 2. So that is plus 2. So that's 6. And dagger plus 4. The dagger plus 4, so that is 10 damage on that natural 20, which is enough to kill the purple one. That is another one down. Away there. And redirecting the nick to the other one is 4 damage to that. And I'll just make one unarmed strike. I don't want to use too many of my points just yet. That is an 11, which I believe won't hit. No, their AC is 13. Okay, it is the red one's turn. No longer with an ally conscious near it, it will make its attack normally. That is going to hit though with 21. So that is 4 necrotic damage. So we are down 7 hit points. That's all right. And that is its turn. It is now Diacris's turn again. So, Dagger and Nick. That is cocked, unfortunately, because it was on a natural 20. But that's all right. The Nick hits for 1 damage. And that is 16 hits. So that is 5 damage. So that's another 6. No, minus 6. And then we'll do a flurry of blows. We want to get this thing. Oh, no. Flurry of blows probably isn't necessary just yet. That is a 16. So another 6 damage. So it is down to 16 hit points. And it is its turn. Probably be the last one, as it only has 5 hit points left. However, that is a natural 20. I'm glad I saved my focus points. So 5 and 1, 6, 7. Oops. So that is 7, and I will spend my reaction to reduce that down to 0. I rolled a 7 on the dice. So I will spend a focus point to redirect some of that. So I take no damage, and it must make a DC 14 dexterity saving throw. What is its dexterity? +0. Excellent. So it needs a 14 on the dice. And that is a 2. So it takes 2d6 plus 4. Yeah. Just double check that. Yes, 2d6 plus dex. So 2d6 plus 4. Excellent. It takes 11 damage, and that is it. Out. So, with that, combat comes to an end again. This has been very combat heavy. 346. The undead warriors lie at your feet, a pile of armor and wrecked bodies. I believe that is a good place to end it. Hopefully you have enjoyed the session, and we'll return next week for the next installment of the Tales from the Adventurers Guild. Thank you all again.